Successes in my arm reach, they downplay my accomplishments, it's written in the concrete. My stones is VVS, look like they fresh about the laundry. The way they soaking wet gon' make a mess of a tsunami. The Fetty hit the streets, it turn the fiends and Nazi zombies. I'm staying out the way, toes in the sand, heading to palm trees. My mind is on another level, way beyond the 5D. You dummy, they killing you with that 5G. You won't never see me crying.
Okay, guys, as you've seen from the title, this is what if Deku had magnetism? And you're wondering what do you mean magnetism? So it's basically Magneto's powers. So he's able to manipulate magnetism and stuff. And let's get into it. And so I don't want this to be a quirk at all, to be honest. This is not a quirk. Actually, he's a metahuman. Like as you see, Deku comes from a line of family as he's related to Magneto. It's a long line of family, but in some way he is related to Magneto. And so his whole family had quirks, but it's based on his powers. Like his mom is able to have telekinesis, but Izuku, the only quirkless person in the line of their family, is able to have magnetism, and this is a big thing, as nobody in the family ever had it. And yeah, and so he doesn't awaken it as young as like 4, but he awakens it later in his life. So 15 years later, Izuku Midoriya, he's getting suffocated by the sludge villain as he thinks he's gonna die. But as his eyes start to glow, as then metal from the pipes in the sewers start going up, as Izuku's getting angry, as he says, I can't die before I become a hero, till I become the symbol of peace. As then he shouts out, I won't die, as the metal surrounding the pipes and like the metal starts surrounding the sludge villain, trapping him. Then it forces him to the ground. As the sludge villain is shocked, this kid has a quirk? What quirk is that? As then All Might yells, do not fear, for I am here. As he sees this kid easily took down the sludge villain. As he's surprised. Says, young Midoriya. Or no, he doesn't say young Midoriya because he doesn't know him. And he says, young man, what's your name? And Izuku says, my name is Izuku Midoriya. And he says, well, young Midoriya, thank you for taking down this villain. Remember, you can't use your quirk unless you have a license, so don't be using it freely. But good job. As Izuku says, thank you All Might. And I'll make sure, but he wants to have a quirk. What quirk do I have? What power do I have? He thought excited as he runs away when as All Might takes the sludge villain, as he forgot to ask All Might to sign it. But he has a quirk. Which one's better? He thinks, and so he goes home and he tells his mom, I have a quirk. As she says, oh, that's great, Izuku. Let's see what it is. As she takes him out to, well, like a yard or like a park nearby. As she says, well, show me. As Izuku thinks, what's my quirk? And so then he sees, he feels like an attraction or like an aura surrounding a piece of metal, which is like a it's just like you know, a fence, fence, and so he feels the fence, and then he decides to pull it towards them. As he's able to do it quickly, like as she's shocked, Izuku has a quirk. Like as she's shocked, it says, is this a magnetism quirk or something? And I, like, an Izuku grins. And so Inko smiles and says, well, that's good, Izuku. And so they go home and celebrate Izuku's new quirk as Izuku starts reading up about magnetism manipulation. And he learns that there's three types of magnetism. And I forgot the well, there is three types, but I forgot the names of them. But the main type, which is iron and steel, which allows a magnet to it, but well, I like to attach to it. But the other two are weak magnetism, and the weakest magnetism is the 0.8% of iron in your body. Yes, you got everybody has a little bit of iron in their body, and so Izuku learns that he could potentially produce magnetic fields, and thinks, huh. And so he learns more about magnetism, and he studies more on it. As then he reads that he like reads to make a quirk stronger. You need to make your body stronger. As he decides to work on his body, and so for the next 9 to 10 months, Izuku learns more about his presumed quirk and his powers about it while he works on his body. He won't be working on his body like he did with All Might, but he has been working on his body, like with running, basically a lot of endurance to be able to use his quirk to a higher degree. And he also learned that that if he can make just a little bit of magnetic fields, he'll be fine. Like, and so Izuku is able to make one magnetic field every 10 minutes. And this field is very strong, but it's only 10 feet. And so basically he can manipulate um like the iron in people's bodies, as he tried it out on his mom, as he was able to lift her up just a bit off the ground. Not much, but he got her like a foot off of the ground, which is a good start for him, as he needs to upgrade his psyche, you could say. Yes, upgrade his psyche to get a stronger field. And to upgrade his psyche, he needs to use his quirk more, which he's starting to use it more, as he should. And so once he arrives at UA, he is excited. Yes, he's excited to meet, to go in, or no, to go in and try to pass. And so yeah, as Bakugo grunts, so you're here, Deku. As Izuku nods timidly and so Bakugo says, well, whatever. And so as they hear President Mike, as Izuku goes into that fanboy mode, as he's still himself, and he gets reprimanded by Bakugo and Extension Lita, or Ida, whatever you want to pronounce it as. Do not quote me. Yeah, don't quote me. I'm talking to you, the person who's about to comment. You know who you are. Don't try to hide. Yeah, delete that, boy. I'm watching you. Or a girl, or whoever you want to be. You can be attracted to cars nowadays. Just kidding. Do not get offended. Yeah, don't get offended. But anyways, Izuku, he is he gets ready for the physical portion of the exam happily. And so as he is working on passing the physical portion of the exam as he stretches he oh yeah he doesn't trip and fall as he's more confident in his abilities, and so he doesn't walk up to Uraraka. He just stretches, and so when he is oh yeah when like she says hey, like when he no when the President Mike says go, he runs off. And so as he sees the first robot, he makes like um he sees the robot's metal, and so he just crinkles it up, destroying the robot, blowing it up. And so as he does that to more robots, he's just getting points. And Nezu sees this and he thinks, huh, magnetism quirk. This is almost perfect for this exam, as all these robots are made out of metal. So this test, test, is just too easy for him, since he can just manipulate the metal. But that just means that some people's quirks are just meant for some things and some not. But yeah, and so as Izuku goes through robot to robot, easily taking them down, and he isn't really breaking a sweat yet, but he will soon. And so as he racked up like 60 to 70 points, as he's happy about that, then he hears a huge boom as he runs over to see this girl stuck under a pile of metal. And so he lifts up the metal as he goes to get her out, as they're about to run away. He sees the zero point, the 0 point to robot. And so he glares at it, and so then he uses all that metal around him to he started to create a magnetic field using the external metal around him as a conductor for the field. He is able to make a field large enough to surround the whole 0 pointer, as he is able to lift the 0 pointer up in the air as they're shocked. He's able to lift that robot. What was this, a type of telekinesis quirk? Little do they know that Nezu already figured out what Izuku did. He used the metal around him for a conductor for the magnetic field. Smart. And so then he lifted up the robot and chucked him away, using the full force of the magnetic field to repel the 0 pointer away, going far, far away. And so Izuku grins, but he breathes heavily. That used a ton of his energy and power, but he did it. And so he saved Uraraka, and she is in awe. He has a very powerful quirk. And so he left as he thinks he passed with all the points he got, and he was able to easily take down these robots. As a week or two later, he gets in the mail that he has passed. Well, no, like All Might does his speech and stuff, is saying that he passed, and that he also gets bonus points or rescue points for saving Uraraka. And he gets like 40 or 50 extra, as he gets congratulated for getting first place in the entrance exam. And and so as Izuku also has his costume, has to create a costume, he is thinking, as he got an idea. If a piece of my armor, or like my shoulder or arm guards are like a metal, I could potentially manipulate that metal to make me fly. As he thought, I can fly with this. And so he decided to add that to his suit, and this suit is basically helped to design him to be able to manipulate metal more, and it's basically more of a conductor, an electromagnetic conductor to create magnetic fields faster, and this can help out Izuku a lot mid fights, and and he also designed this thing where it can store his magnetic energy or electromagnetic energy every time he uses it or creates a field, as it just stores up in the thing. Okay, guys, I just let that little music thing play out for fun. And so, yeah. And so, Deku, yeah, he has that device and stuff. And so, yeah. And so, once he gets to UA, he walks in and thinks, what kind of monsters are in here? And so, Bakugo spots him and says, so they let you in here, Deku. As he nods, and so um, Lita says, "Oh, you're that. Oh, hey, I remember you at the exam." And so he says, good job for finding out the hidden meaning of the test." As Izuku says, "Oh, I didn't know of it and stuff," and Lita takes none of that and says, "No, I insist. That was a good job." And so Izuku says, "Okay," like awkwardly, and then he and so then Lita then nods, and so as Uraka walks in, as they are both in their seats, as she doesn't really know who Deku is, she just knows his or will recognize his face if they meet, but they haven't, and so yeah, and so she she is you could say doesn't know him. And so when Aizawa walks in, he tells them to to get ready for their hero assessment test. And so as they get ready for their hero assessment test, as they get on the little jerseys and stuff, as they get ready. And so Aizawa says, Izuku Midoriya, you got first on the entrance exam, it making Bakugo angry. It says, what you get on the ball throw? And Izuka says 55 meters or something. And so he says, you use that with your quirk. As Bakugo smirks, as Izuku, then he makes a magnetic field. As he senses that there's some iron in the ball, as there's basically a like there's probably a lot of iron in the ball, or some magnetism, something in that ball. And so as he creates that magnetic field, he is building it up. As he then chucks the ball, using the magnetism with the magnetic field, coating the magnetism with the ball, he is able to chuck the ball to outer space as it go like he's once it reaches outer like outer space or even high in the sky where there's zero gravity, it just stays up there. As he got infinity, as when he gets infinity, Aizawa congratulates him, and then Bakugo says, "Deku, what was that?" As he charges him and says, "How dare you keep this quirk from me?" As he thinks Deku played him as a fool. As Aizawa stops him, and Izuku gets out his fighting position as he goes to the class. As Uraraka and others think it's that kid, or it is that boy who used that power at the entrance exam. He really is the number one student at UA. And so he passed, and so he's done. basically with the ball throw as everybody starts getting excited, but Aizawa humbles them right away. As he says whoever gets last place fails, as Izuku using he basically uses he creates magnetic fields and just manipulates his body to go faster or something. And when they do the grip test, he just uses his quirk to make the bar put more pressure on the bar. And so this helps. And it gives him more, points. And so he ends up getting second place in the Intricustem with Todoroki behind him and Bakugo behind them. And Momo getting first place. And so as Moneta got last, he doesn't get expelled. As Azawa says, that was just a fluke. And so, yeah. And so they go home or they just complete for the rest of the day. As as Izuku met Uraraka and Ida developing a relationship, a good friendship relationship with both of them. And relationship doesn't always mean dating, you know. Get your butt out of the gutter, bozos. And so yeah, and so Uraraka and Ida are excited to um go for like next day's MVUA. And so yeah, this is and so next day they have to do hero training, which is weird as which they have All Might. And so as they get put on their things, Deku has like a Magneto costume without the helmet nor the colors, but it's the same everything else. And so he grins as on his chest and arm sleeves is what storages the magnetic power. And so he's with Uraraka as he sees the building, as the building is made out of mostly magnetic things. Izuku tells her this whole building is made out of magnetic metals and stuff, and so he can manipulate the whole building if it needs be, or take chunks of the building. And so she nods as when they are running through. When Bakugo explodes through a wall, Deku manipulates another wall to block Bakugo's attack towards them as they don't budge. As then Bakugo starts exploding towards Deku as he's deflecting and blocking. As this fight is a battle of attrition at this point, as they're blocking and attacking, as Izuku is manipulating using magnetic fields. Uraraka starts to go up. And so, what with this, Deku is developing his storage for his magnetic fields. So as Bakugo's explosion cannon filled up, and Deku's magnetic field thing opened, at the same time, Bakugo sends a huge explosion, and Deku sends a huge magnetic field. As it clashes, as he made the magnetic field be a huge wall or block, and so Bakugo shocked. His explosion didn't budge an inch towards Deku, as Deku runs from the smoke and punches Bakugo into the wall. And so then they charge up for one final attack. As Bakugo goes for a direct assault, as Deku goes for attack upwards. As with this, he manipulates the metal to make a clear hole through the wall. as he's able to, as they both get knocked back, as Bakugo is shocked. Deku blocked, and he created an opening for his teammate as they passed. As right after, Deku is able to patch the walls with his magnetism quite easily. And so he actually gets MVP for like for knowing what his abilities are, and he is able to stop the building from collapsing if need be. So there wasn't really a problem with him using his powers like he did. And so yeah. And so he gets MVP. And yeah, this is the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, and share down below. And see you guys later. Love you guys. Stay safe. See you guys later.